Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. There's an article from American Banker titled Inside Ripple's Plans for Mainstream Crypto Payments. And this article perfectly highlights Ripple's ambition to become a staple in global payments and settlement. While XRP is clearly at the core of their business model, it's also clear they understand that having a bigger crypto pie would be the best thing for them and everyone operating in the space. So to be clear, Ripple's taking a different approach than the Bitcoin maxi trolls out there would take, which is one size fits all approach. One coin to rule them all. Everything else be damned. It's Bitcoin or bust. That's the approach of the Bitcoin maxi troll. Ripple's saying, no. Of course, they're big cheerleaders for XRP and the XRP ecosystem, but they're not saying no, just only XRP. No. They're pro all sorts of different cryptos for various use cases, different technological needs, all sorts of things. And so what they want is a healthy crypto asset class. And even if XRP is always just a certain smaller percentage overall, even if it's still in the top 10 in terms of market cap, crypto market cap, even if it's a smaller percentage overall, they don't care. They just want a bigger crypto pie. That's what they're fighting for. That's best for them. And frankly, that's what's best for XRP is broader adoption rather than trying to tear down other projects, which is what you see from Bitcoin maxi trolls all the damn time, frankly. And so this article highlights several important approaches and developments. Including Ripple's partnership with a major payments platform, Ripple's liquidity hub, which helps enterprise and banking customers access crypto for their clients, including XRP, by the way. Also, it highlights Ripple's push for central banks to use a private version of the XRP ledger to create their own central bank digital currencies, and the issuance of over 5,400 assets on the XRP ledger is touched upon as well. But I do want to be clear at the outset, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto topics, but just as a hobby, and just for fun, damn it. And if you don't like it, well, you can just get out. Before digging in, though, I did want to highlight this tweet from an individual within the community named Crypto Cabby. It caught my attention. I just thought it was pretty cool, so I decided I'd share it. Here, I'll make this picture full screen. This is the picture that Crypto Cabby shared, and they wrote, this is my new sign in my taxi. Accepting XRP via some wallet is just as fast as taking a card payment. Let's see how it goes this time. And so there you can see, there's the picture in this guy's taxi. It says payments in XRP accepted in this taxi. Payments in XRP accepted in this taxi. Ask driver for details. So there you go. And I'll tell you what. I personally am not interested in using, today anyway, cryptocurrency in place of money. But frankly, even if I really, really wanted to, in the United States, the government has added friction because every single transaction, even if I'm buying something, that's a taxable event. And so just the nightmare that creates. And then additionally, since I am counting on XRP being worth substantially more in the future, even if I wanted to use it for purchases, just for the novelty of it, for whatever the reason is, yeah, I could replenish it immediately. I could do that. So then, you don't lose out once it moons, all that jazz. The problem in the United States, again, though, is even if you do that, that resets the timer for long-term investments. So in the United States, if you hold for at least a year, then you get taxed at a different rate, a lower rate, a max of 20%. It's long-term capital gains tax. If you hold for less than that and you sell, then you get taxed at whatever your tax bracket is effectively. So even if you do that, if you eventually sell that because XRP goes up, you're like, oh, oof, well, this is not ideal. You still get screwed there too. So it's I'm telling you, it's not just. It's not just the typical reasons that I've talked about on the channel before for me personally not using crypto in place of money. It's the fact that the government is incentivizing me not to do that. And that's not right, as in my book, but that's just the reality of the situation here. But anyway, I thought it was cool from Crypto Cabby, so I thought I'd share it. Hopefully find success and people actually want to do it. So anyway, into this piece from American Banker, which I went ahead and just printed up. Reads as follows. Ripple built a brand by using cryptocurrency technology to speed international payments. As that concept becomes less novel, the firm is implementing ways to adapt its technology for everyday payments. And I'll pause to say that's one of the only comments in this article, or perhaps actually, you know what, it is the only comment in this whole article that I disputed. The idea that it's not novel, I mean, fine, that's a subjective opinion, but the world over has not adopted this technology, and yes, it's being adopted at an increasing rate. RippleNet and also on-demand liquidity explicitly utilizing XRP as a bridge currency, yeah, that's absolutely unquestionably increasing. But the idea that it's not novel, I'm like, says who? It's novel to the vast majority of financial institutions you approach with the concept. So I don't know. You tell me what you mean. But anyway, here's a quote from Cindy Young, who was interviewed for this article. Cindy Young, she's the one on your screen right there. She is the managing director of Europe at Ripple, and seems like a pretty sharp individual, I would guess, but you'd expect nothing less from somebody who works at Ripple. Previously worked at MasterCard, is a Harvard alum and Brown University alum as well. And so here's a quote from her within this article. Historically, we've been focused on tackling the trillion-dollar problem associated with cross-border payments, but over time, and as the industry has become more mature, there has been more demand from our customers who need help preparing for a world where cryptocurrency is front and center. That's a direct quote from her. And so look, there's this broader understanding by her and certainly Ripple that crypto's here to stay. It's going to be a messy process to figure out which cryptocurrencies deserve to have long-term viability, but it's here to stay. And so that's why I said at the outset here, Ripple gets that. It's not going to be a one-size-fits-all, and so they're just working to help the world adopt it and go through this messy process of figuring out exactly what deserves to be here for the long haul. And the piece continues, Ripple has been improving its product lineup through partnerships to create a platform that serves both cryptocurrency transactions and traditional payments. The latest addition is a partnership with Modulr, a London-based fintech that provides connections to payment messaging protocols in different countries, such as Faster Payments, BACS, CHAPS, SWIFT, and SEPA. And so the news from this is from just slightly over a month ago. This is the headline from Business Wire on this topic, February 1st, 2022. Modulr and Ripple announced strategic partnership to enable seamless payments into the UK and Europe. Today, Leading Payments for Modulr announced a partnership with Ripple, the leader in enterprise blockchain and crypto solutions, to enable seamless payments into the UK and Europe. And so what you'll see with Ripple and what they're doing, even though XRP is at the heart of their business model, the vast majority of what they're doing doesn't explicitly have to do with XRP. It's about improving the train wreck that is the world of global cross-border payments. And so it's connecting rails, making things more seamless. And you're always going to have things of value, whether it's, it could be a fiat currency, it could be a cryptocurrency, a tokenized stock, a central bank digital currency. All of these things, by nature, will never interoperate. That will never happen. You will always need something. You'll need to make markets. And there could be markets where some of these things interact, but there's going to be so many blends of what you could buy with various things that it's never all going to be, that you're never going to have a situation where you have a pair for everything in every single market the world over. That's the key. That's what you need to understand. There's never going to be a pair for everything of value that you could possibly want to swap out with in every single market the world over. That's why you need a bridge currency. And it makes more sense if the asset that you're using as a bridge is jurisdictionless and it's decentralized. Nobody controls it, because otherwise, like, why would you want to hold something, use it for this purpose if there's counterparty risk? Isn't that a concern for you? And so having a decentralized cryptocurrency, that's why this makes all the sense in the world here. Anyway, piece continues though. The Modulr integration supports business-to-business, peer-to-peer, and business-to-consumer payments across borders, with an initial focus on attracting partners in the Asia-Pacific, Middle East, and Latin America regions. And here's another quote from Cindy Young with Ripple, by the way. Our enterprise and banking customers have direct access to local payment rails, which allows our sending customers to experience a faster and more simplified payment experience. Yeah, that's the direction that we're going here. And so Ripple in late 2021 updated RippleNet by adding a liquidity hub, a product that supports buying, selling, and holding digital assets aimed at enterprise partners in Ripple's blockchain network. And so I think that this product has been widely misunderstood, including by me, but not because it's my fault or your fault or anybody in the communities. Here's the truth of the matter. Look, I've been following this stuff for over 4 years. We can only be aware of the information that is publicly shared, and so they'll say general things with no underlying explanation of really what it is. And so we're sitting here, it's not that we're stupid, we're just sitting here scratching our heads, okay, but more information, please. And so there are questions. It's like, okay, liquidity hub, the way that they described it, is it something That is it some sort of like a crypto exchange effectively that Ripple's running? Is it something like that? People are positing all sorts of ideas. Well, here's how Cindy Young with Ripple described it. Here's a quote from her. Enterprises can easily and efficiently source a variety of assets from the broader crypto market. You can think of Liquidity Hub as an aggregator akin to what Google Flights or Kayak does for travel. And so here's Kayak, for example. You can see at the top of the screen that it says, compare rental car deals to find the right one. So it's a website. I'm sure many of you are familiar with this, but this channel is viewed the world over, and I don't know if kayaks, if people are aware of Kayak in every single market the world over. But anyway, so basically what it's doing, it's helping you to compare at one spot prices and information from various competitors within various industries. That's what it is. So apply that concept to what's happening with Ripple's Liquidity Hub, and it's basically sourcing liquidity from, it could be any number of market makers the world over, and presumably a number of things. Find out where it's available, obviously, of course, and then compare opportunities from one to the next, including price. These would be factors to consider, certainly here. And so Liquidity Hub, this was first announced last year, November 9th, 2021. Here you can see this is Ripple's official blog series, Ripple Insights, and this is titled Ripple Liquidity Hub for the Enterprise. And I don't want to read the whole thing, but I will note this part right here that I'm highlighting. They write, and while the XRP ledger and XRP are and will remain a native part of our tech stack, we at Ripple believe that achieving interoperability is key to unlocking crypto's true potential. The ability to interoperate crypto across networks will break down barriers to entry and enable greater competition and inclusion. Because of this, Ripple Liquidity Hub will initially support Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Ethereum Classic, which, by the way, is the best cryptocurrency ever created, Bitcoin Cash, and XRP. And then, of course, in parentheses, they write, availability will vary by geography. Womp womp. We know what that means, right? It's because of the SEC going after Ripple. So eventually they won't have to have that little comment in parentheses there. But the point is, of course, it's still XRP is included. And so, the easier it is to access crypto, to access liquidity for broader crypto markets, not just XRP, the better it is for XRP, because XRP can be used as a bridge currency to tie everything together. It's part of the big plan. It's a piece of it anyway. And they say that they're going to also add additional assets over time. And then there was also this. I highlighted the parts that I found this article to be most interesting. That's the reason that I printed this here. I think this is where I wanted to come back. Oh, yeah, here we go. So this is another quote from Cindy Young here. Blockchain-based solutions are decentralized, which allows banks and other financial institutions to communicate payment information to each other bidirectionally in real time. This is a significant change to the correspondent banking system, which was built before the internet to process cross-border payments. It's a model that no longer works for the modern world. End quote. So, folks, it is fascinating to think about this. I don't know how many of you are aware of this. It's been a while since I mentioned this on the channel, but when it comes to the legacy financial system, and specifically SWIFT, it's basically like when you're using the SWIFT system, it's like putting a letter into the mail, and then you don't know if it's received effectively. I mean, unless you're going to call up and constantly badger the intended recipient to see, is it there yet? Is it there? Did you receive it? Did you receive it? Did you receive it? It's not bi-directional communication. It's just push method. It just pushes it out there. And so there's no bi-directional communication, which sounds completely ridiculous. Well, RippleNet actually fixed that. Anyway, Peace continues. Young also discussed Ripple's work on digitizing government currencies, an area of heavy competition. The card brands are positioning themselves as enablers of central bank digital currencies, pitching partnerships with central banks and developing technology that can connect central banks with commercial banks and consumers. And so that's what I've talked about this a number of times on the channel, so I'll just be brief with this point. But man, 2021, the more you review the stuff covered in here and how big of a deal it is, a lot of freaking stuff happened in 2021 that doesn't suck. Stuff that Ripple did that is positive ultimately for the XRP ecosystem. So here's a headline from March 3rd, 2021 from Ripple Insights, which is their official blog series titled Ripple Pilots a Private Ledger for Central Banks Launching central bank digital currencies. So that's just a year and a couple days ago we first found out about this, and it was a big deal. And again, this is, I don't want to read this whole thing either, but this is the part that you really should be aware of. Because you might be, because look, the private ledger, it's not part of the XRP ledger. It's not part of that blockchain. It is separate. It is private. It is for central banks to have their own centralized control over their own digitized version of their whatever their fiat currency is. For a number of reasons, obviously, you don't want, if you're a government, you're not going to leave anything outside of your own control. You want to be able to roll back transactions in case something goes horrifically wrong. You want to be able to inflate the hell out of it if you're the United States federal government, or most governments, right? Just print the fiat currency into oblivion, which I think is awful. But anyway, the point is you want those types of controls. And so that's why this ledger is separate. And so upon this news getting out into the wild, there's some people not understanding the bigger picture within our community, thinking this is bad. Why are you abandoning the XRP ledger? Well, no. The Ripple gets that this is going to be an increasingly liquid world and an increasingly tokenized world, and you need a cryptocurrency that is sufficiently liquid the world over to work as a bridge. And so look what they wrote here. This also means that the central bank digital currency private ledger is designed for issuing currencies, with over 5,400 currencies issued on the XRP ledger over the past 8 years, including its native digital asset XRP, which can be leveraged as a neutral bridge asset for frictionless value movement between central bank digital currencies and other currencies. There you go. And so it was never the case that XRP has been forsaken by Ripple. That's completely silly. It's the case that they're working for a broader acceptance of the entire crypto asset class. That's what's actually happening here. That's it. So anyway, cool stuff. Those are the parts that I thought were most interesting and fascinating having to do with that article. Look, all of this stuff, and it's not just about Ripple, it's about all developers building on top of the ledger, broader acceptance, actual usage of XRP as a currency and for other use cases, all of these things. This represents value. As long as we continue to see this type of adoption, I speculate that XRP will be worth substantially more in the future than it is today. The prices we see today are going to look like nothing. Now, we get used to seeing it. We're like, oh, it just feels like it's never going to happen. Well, yeah, fine. I understand. Also, several years ago, when people had been purchasing XRP for about half a penny for several years, to them, it also seemed like XRP was never going to be worth more. Then it ran to about $4. So just keep that in mind. There's no guarantee. I'm not saying that to just hype up. I'm nothing like that. I'm just being a realist about this. I think that these markets are illiquid. I think that they will continue to be perform relative to other assets in asymmetrical manner, meaning they'll just be worth substantially more than pick your asset class. Pick your individual asset. There's going to be rare exception to that, if any, if you're talking about individual assets, if any. But crypto is the quickest way to make life-changing money. Doesn't mean there's not risks. There are serious risks. People lose everything all the time because they don't know what the hell they're doing, which is why I'm just saying just make sure you inform yourself. But damn, to be clear, the opportunity is here. That's my personal, humble, unprofessional opinion. And that's the reason that I've been in this since November of 2017. But I'll go ahead and wrap up there. I am not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.